And my second part of the second question here for you, John. When you launch Discovery, Discovery will be under the control of Mission Control Center in Houston, will it not? As all the shuttles have been?
Sure.
And the space station, when it's in action, as it is 24/7, you have astronauts on board. It is in control of ISS Control Center, which is a room adjacent to Mission Control, is it not?
It's controlled not just from Houston, but also from Moscow and the different parts. The European part is from.
And you have a planning room, I think, up at Marshall too, don't you?
Yeah. It's a very distributed.
Well, my point is this.
Sure.
I was challenged last week on a couple of things of the report that I did. I used the term mission control will go dark after the shuttle program. Now, the first time mission control was used was for Gemini 4. Until then, all the flights had been out of here with Mercury and Gemini 3. Mission Control is a control center that controlled all the Gemini, Apollo, and shuttle flights. ISS Control controls the International Space Station. Now, when we launch American astronauts on board Soyuz, that will be under the control of the Russian Mission Control in Korolev. Now, if I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong.
But we follow along.
Yes, we would follow along.
Right.
What I want to know, and I could not after I was accused of being wrong, I could not find anybody to answer me out of Houston or had anything to say to me out of Houston. What role will Mission Control, not ISS Control, we all know that, what role will Mission Control have in any flights of American astronauts until we have another spaceship?
The same role essentially they have today. They'll follow along the Soyuz launch, coordinate with the Russian team and support in that sense. But it's not actual control and communications with the vehicle as it is with the shuttle today.
First, you're telling me you will have people inside Mission Control over there monitoring this flight.
Yeah, we do today. You know, we're getting ready to go launch a Soyuz next week. In fact, I'm going to be going over to Russia on Sunday. There's a team in Moscow that sits in Korolev, a U.S. team that sits there and monitors along with the Russian control team. They follow along with the ascent checklist. It's not as involved as it is when we're running a shuttle flight. They're not sending the commands, they're not issuing the direct orders to the crew, but they're following along kind of in flight following mode just for general awareness to make sure that things are going on correctly. And that stays the same as we continue on.
So what you're saying is that the Mission Control will be manned to monitor these flights when we have American astronauts flying. After you fly the last shuttle. I shouldn't say we, I'm not flying anything, but anyway.
It's part of the ISS team, yes.
Okay. Now, also